apparently Sony's services were down for, what, maybe a couple hours at most, and people are acting like it's the infamous 2011 hacking all over again, which is fucking retarded. But what I do know is that's fucking retarded is that someone left a comment on my recent video basically calling me a Sony shill. So I'll see how long that little charade sticks for. Probably just for this one session, but still. Love being called things and I'm actually not. If they would have actually watched the fucking video, would have understood that I'm not exactly in favor of what Sony's doing, but exclusives still aren't going anywhere. It's not me advocating the bullshit, it's just being honest. It's called facing reality. I don't know how people don't get this in 2025. I'm gonna go on for the record and mention that pretty much the only reason why this shit happened was because someone was salty potatoes about Bloodborne being the target of DMCA with the PSX demake and the 60 frames per second patch. So someone basically tried to ruin everyone's fun for about maybe 2/3 of a day. Really fucking mature if that's the case. It seems kind of stupid to compare Bloodborne to it, but when the game had a legitimate server maintenance, people thought that it would lead to something, which it didn't. So, whatever. Games go into maintenance all the time. Maybe a little bit rarer for a game that's old as Bloodborne, but nobody would think it was anything suspicious considering that Sony wasn't striking shit down to that degree. But now that they're basically pulling a Nintendo, people are going to more than likely assume that they're going to be pulling this crap for anything now, and it's fucking stupid. Sony pulling this crap with the DMCA and then their servers going down, it's just some pure lunacy if I've ever seen it. I'm honestly surprised this took a little bit longer considering Sony's infamous history of security. But the main point that I wanted to bring up is that someone basically left a comment saying that I'm a shill for Sony because of arbitrary reasons, even though the person didn't even watch the video. I will 100% admit that I do have a hard time getting to the point. But first of all, the video wasn't even that long compared to my other shit. And I think I make it very clear that it wasn't Sony's decision to fucking have a... God damn it. I can't even speak right now. Sony DMC anything is not going to lead to anything. That's number one. Even when they do bring their titles to PC, they require a PlayStation Network account for no reason. Whether it be God of War, Helldivers, or anything of the sort. I think even Days Gone has that shitty requirement. And honestly, I'm not really a fan of a lot of Sony exclusives as of late. It's ironic they bought a PS5 just for Demon's Souls, but that's like the one exception. Not just because it's a Souls game, but I like to believe that Bluepoint does a pretty good job with bringing older games to modern systems, but, you know, when people want something like Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, they get pissed off, but then when they do something like Demon's Souls, they're taking away the creative vision or some crap. Not going to act like Demon's Souls Remaster. I know people call it a remake, but I refuse to call it a remake for the sole fact it's not a fucking remake. Resident Evil from the GameCube and Wii is a fucking remake. Demon's Souls is not a fucking remake. It doesn't change inherently enough to be considered a remake. It's a glorified remaster with fancy visuals, nothing else. If anything, it reminds me of what a modern-day Super Mario All-Stars is like. They up-tuned the graphics, maybe changed a couple things about the game, but it's still more or less the same shit, just recreated from whatever bits and polygons that Bluepoint wanted to make. Yes, you can argue there's visual infidelity, but I'm pretty sure Bluepoint's goal was to make the game playable and as faithful to the original as possible without making it too easy for these so-called people who cry easy mode in their fucking games. And I'll be sure as shit happy that if it does get a PC port, because everyone will get a... Not everyone, but it's going to make people going to want to play it more compared to just buying a fucking PS5. But this is also another thing. A lot of games that are from the Sony library do require a PlayStation account. So how the fuck am I shilling for Sony when I've said time and time again that that practice is just retarded? Oh my god, you're using ableist language. Shut the fuck up. People cancel anyone for saying the N-word, but, you know, calling each other worse names is perfectly fine. Shut the fuck up. Even though I don't like Rivet in Rift Apart or whatever, I think she's a fucking nothing character. I didn't like Rift Apart at all, but I am happy that it got a PC port. How is that me being a shill of Sony, exactly? Granted, I wouldn't buy it, personally, because personally the gameplay fucking sucked. I hate how they got the voice actor of Invader Zim to sound really fucking obnoxious with the unfunny Zircon Jr. whatever bullshit that they had going on. And legit, the only parts of the game that are actually interesting was the optional missions you could skip, but people want to cry that more sexy games have just skipped entirely. Just fucking crowdfund ABGN's win fucking controller and just do something else with your life, seriously. You want to have your games being easy, but if it's not a Souls game, having it being skippable is just stupid, retarded logic, but whatever. I don't know how fucking some people actually function sometimes, I swear. But yet they wouldn't have the nerve to say I'm the functional one, because I make points that may not be comprehensible to some, because they either don't want to watch or they make up their own conclusions and act like they're in the fucking right. Yeah, try being attentive in real life and you tell me how well that works out, because I'm sure you're going to make a lot of people pretty pissed off for drawing improper conclusions. But even just to play devil's advocate with Sony, they're going to fuck up Bloodborne in some capacity. They're going to probably do the same bullshit that Bluepoint did that people got pissed off because, oh my god, the characters don't look exactly like the models in 2015. And even if they were to just do a shape port and make it 60 frames a second on their own, they're going to probably overcharge the fuck out of it. I mean, the game is practically 10 years old, so I think no more than 30 would be a fair price, personally. And it's, considering there's other remasters of the Souls games, mainly Dark Souls remastered by Q-Lock, they surely fucked up for everyone. And not just because of the visuals, but they fucked up the multiplayer. They did a lot of shit that not a lot of people liked, but people still bought anyway, because they're starving fucking Guinevere's tits or some shit. You people fall for the same fucking illusions that your own lore master, Vadi Video, always talks about non-fucking stop. They fucking amazing. But Nintendo does it, who cares? Well, you should care. It's sure as shit never okay when Nintendo strikes something down like Slippy, or even AM2R, but then make their own game, Samus Returns, which, I'm sorry, was just fucking shit. For a number of reasons, but if I were to talk about it, I'd just be a fucking Nintendo shell, so fuck you. So, whatever. If you didn't get the point, then that's on you. I'm not acting like I'm, like, the greatest communicator, and if I said something that wasn't intended, whatever, but don't act like I'm a shell because you didn't bother watching the whole thing and come up with an actual conclusion that makes fucking sense.